These mussels are thriving here in the lab, though there's water provided for them. Out there, scientists say there needs to be enough water for them to support us and nature. This is the exact area where the 3-year-old child and his father were traveling before they got hit by an oncoming vehicle. This is the home that the father rushed the child to for help. Here on campus, only 1 in 10 students use Apple Pay, a small amount. The other 9 are stuck in the plastic world. But Apple and retailers say that number will increase very soon. 3 drones like this one are kept here in the lab, and when weather turns badly, like this simulated tornado behind me, they take them out into the field, where these drones can travel up to 160 miles per hour and fly as high as 3,000 feet. President Barack Obama has arrived, setting foot in Oklahoma for the first time in 2 years. He's already had talk with the Choctaw Nation and is expecting to make history while here, being the first president to visit a federal prison while in office. This is how Telegram works. I send my message, I type in the message, then select the time key, where I select how quickly I want the message to self-destruct. Buxton says he didn't advertise his job because it is not a permanent position. Once it becomes one, he'll make it public. An Oklahoma City police officer is on the other side of the law after allegations of domestic abuse. And this is not the first time he's been investigated. Hard to believe that the season has almost come to an end. With only 2 weeks left in the college football regular season, the Sooners have found themselves in consideration as one of the top 4 teams. But first things first, they need to win these next 2. It looks clean, but is it? Water from our rivers and lakes that we end up filtering and drinking. But there is a natural water filter that is disappearing: mussels.
They're actually like natural biofilters, so they basically purify the water.
The reason these mussels are dying off, dams have lowered water levels in rivers, and the recent drought only compounded the problem.
They were basically just getting too hot and dying from lack of water.
Brent Tweedy is one of the OU scientists trying to save mussels.
Researching how to keep these ecosystems healthy, we're keeping people healthy as well.
Tweedy is a mussel man, and not the gym version. He is an expert on all different species of mussels, and is trying to find one that can survive in harsh conditions.
It's called the 3-ridge mussel for the 3 ridges it has kind of prominently here on its shell. It's one of the more common species.
These mussels are thriving here in the lab, though there's water provided for them. Out there, scientists say there needs to be enough water for them to support us and nature.
We can manage it so that we can, during droughts, we can let enough water out to keep the organisms happy.
These mussels are very sensitive, and it's difficult for them to reproduce after a disturbance in the environment.
They're signaling to us that something's wrong out there.
And that signal is telling us beware, the disappearing mussel. Hunter McKee, OU Nightly. His hands are anchored to the keyboard, but Dr. Philip Chilson's head is in the clouds. The OU meteorology professor's new passion?
Unmanned aerial vehicles, or UAVs.
In more simple terms, these drones that are built in the shape of mini airplanes. The plan is to gather information from the boundary layer, the layer in the atmosphere closest to us, and then transfer that information quickly to meteorologists. Up there, they gather all kinds of information with these drones and warn us of possible severe weather, which is important, especially here in Oklahoma.
3 days, 4 days out, we can tell that there's a chance of severe weather.
Chilson sees drones not as toys, but rather life-saving tools.
When we started 7 years ago, we were still in the process of developing our technology. We've now come to a place where we have a small aircraft which we can fly.
3 drones like this one are kept here in the lab, and when weather turns badly, like this simulated tornado behind me, they take them out into the field, where these drones can travel up to 160 miles per hour and fly as high as 3,000 feet.
So having some method of getting the wind, pressure, temperature, and humidity at these rapidly evolving scales and spatially is really important, and that's what we're hoping to address with this type of technology.
It's still a long time until we know if these drones will be used consistently for weather testing, but the wait and anticipation is worth it for these professors. Hunter McKee, OU Nightly. There are many choices on items to purchase around the University of Oklahoma campus, but now there's another way you can pay for those items: Apple Pay.
There was an opportunity to embrace that technology that Apple had introduced and really find a way to roll that out across campus.
OU is the first university to fully support Apple Pay, and there are many different areas you can access it around campus.
We'll have 3 coming to Gaylord hopefully by Thanksgiving time frame. We've got one in the College of Education, we've got one in the library. We have in each one of the dorms.
I like it because it's really convenient and you don't have to worry about bringing your wallet. You could just hold your phone up.
To use Apple Pay, you simply hold your phone up to the reader until it scans your credit card.
They just got to upload their credit cards and it'll work.
Here on campus, only 1 in 10 students use Apple Pay, a small amount. The other 9 are stuck in the plastic world. But Apple and retailers say that number will increase very soon.
We're probably another year, 2 years away before it really becomes a true 100% mainstream type of integration into their daily life.
Some are actually saying it's a safer option.
You couldn't do anything with your phone because you've got a passcode on it. 10 tries, you're locked out. If it's fingerprint scan, I can't get in unless I have your fingerprint. So there's already some barriers put in there.
You can access several credit and debit cards on Apple Pay, and they expect to add more soon. Hunter McKee, OU Nightly. The Sooners simply, you could say, destroyed the Kansas State Wildcats on Saturday. A huge bounce-back win after the disappointing loss from last week. OU started fast and never let up, even though the airport dampened on their travel plans. The first drive of the game, Baker Mayfield finds Sterling Shepard on an out route, and Shepard makes one guy miss and runs in the end zone for the Sooners' first score. That makes it 7-0. Then Mayfield, who had 5 scoring tosses, finds Dede Westbrook with a nice touch pass in the corner of the end zone to make it 28-0. And to make it worse, to start the second half, Kansas State backup quarterback Cody Cook throws it right to Zach Sanchez for the pick six. Sooners win 55-0. And the Mexican Supreme Court ruled that a small group can use recreational marijuana legally. This now opens up possibilities of nationwide legalization. This decision allows 4 people to plant, transport, and smoke marijuana for recreational purposes only. In Iraq, Kurdish forces are battling ISIS to take back over Sinjar, a town in the northern region of the country.
Hunter McKee joins us in the News Center. Hunter, more startling news out of Illinois about this hero turned villain.
That's right, Ashley. The police officer in Illinois who staged his suicide apparently looked for a hitman to kill a village administrator that he feared would expose him of embezzling money. Lieutenant Charles Glinowitz's family is now under investigation for possibly being part of this. A police charity which donated $15,000 to the family plans to ask for the money back. Oklahoma Sooners won their 9th Big 12 championship on Saturday night. They took down their arch rivals from the north as they dominated the Oklahoma State Cowboys in Stillwater. Let's go to the second quarter as Baker Mayfield hands the ball off to Joe Mixon, and he goes left, cuts back, then he goes right. Now watch this. He picks up a nice block from his quarterback, and he's off to the races. 66 yards for Joe Mixon, and Oklahoma right there is rolling.